Hey YouTube, this is Chris Marks and MacGyver, and these are what's left over for the computer desk. As you can see, there's the feet. And I'll be doing some mods on this, shrinking that in to make, and then making an arch for the kind of little channel going down for the dry shaft to go through. And then I'll be cutting these out later on, putting in a 4-inch wide motor mount. And then the drive shaft will run to the back wheels. That way the drive shaft can flex up and down without hitting the frame. And then 6 inches back, I'll be building a brace. Build a framing for the firewall, and then 15 inches to the front. From this point on, 15 inches. I'll cut that off. The excess will go to move to the back. I'll be building a square frame or a rectangle frame across here for the grill. And then I'll be doing probably some reinforcements on here, so when I build the actual brush guard, I have something to actually bolt it to. And it's gonna be like a 3D skeleton coming up. And these are where the wheels are gonna go. And I still have to figure out doing the control arms out of square tubing, round tubing, bolts, stuff like that. Building my A-arm so it can flex up and down and be able to pivot the wheel and have the front brakes set up on it. And where the frame ends there, that'll be where the frame, I'll be adding on the rest of the frame to come to an arch, and then it'll taper off on the back for the trunk. So the arch and then the part for the trunk will be kind of floating in the air while the rest is flat on the ground. And then I'll be building like a 3D skeleton. And then the motor is going to go up front, and then the drive shaft, transmission, and then the windshield, front seat, back seat. The back window will be right about there, and then the trunk. Doing it all square, 3/4 inch square tubing with 1/2 inch angle iron and probably 1/2 inch square tubing to slide inside the 3/4 inch tubing for extra support for the joints, so it's not going to break on me and I'm cruising around. And these divots here will be actually where the wheels go, so they can turn in and out. That'll be all done skeleton. And then there's the old CD rack holder that's kind of like squared like that. I'm going to kind of bend them in a bit, kind of squish them and then trim it down on the one side and then curve it so it's, instead of being flat, it's going to be kind of tapered down to kind of give it an arch for the back roof pillars. So I'm going to use the CD racks to make the back roof line or roof pillars, and then the front roof pillars will be probably 1/2 inch angle iron. I'll be putting some joints in here, kind of like little 1/2 inch pegs sticking up certain points on the frame, and then have 3/4 inch coming up, over and down, so I'll be about 1 inch wide, maybe 2 inches wide, and then probably about an inch and a half tall, kind of like a drive shaft channel. And then later on I'll be probably either doing sheet metal or fiberglass sculpting mesh going over top, and then fiberglassing it all in. Probably use either 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch square tube angle iron to make the skeleton of the front seat and back seat, and then probably use fiberglass sculpting mesh on that and fiberglass Bondo make the seats. And the motor's going to go in here. It's going to get all cut out. Put a 4-inch wide motor mount plate and make it so it comes down, over, and then up instead of going straight across. And then the actual hood is going to open up so I can start it. All the electronics will be under the hood. Sound kit, motor. I'm gonna do a dual T-pipe. I'm gonna put a 30cc 2-stroke motor in this thing with custom exhaust coming down into a T-pipe, and then dual exhaust going to the back like the actual General Lee. And then I'll be running fuel line to the back and putting a big gas tank back there, and then where the actual gas cap is on the car, that'll be where I fill it up. And the whole body is going to be completely fixed to the frame, so it's not going to be a lid or top where you take the pins out and take it off. It's going to be one solid car. And I'll have it so the trunk opens up and the hood will open up so I can access the motor, and then all the electronics, and steering servos will be in front of the wheels to turn them left and right. All my ESC and everything will be under here. And then there's my girl Misty, going on 18 years old, that girl, you know, middle of October. And then fuel tank, dual exhaust going out the back. I was thinking of putting in later on put in a smoker system and plumb it into the exhaust, so then I can make it look like the General Lee when it's blowing black smoke when they do the jumps. I'll do all the electronics in the front under the hood, and then I'll be doing front functioning headlights and driving lights, and functioning probably signal lights, brake lights, reverse lights. That'll be all working. This is going to be a big car, and then it's not the way that it's going to be. It's going to be actually added on a couple inches on each side to widen it to 33 inches. This is only, I think I measured at 26, so it's going to get widened quite a bit, probably about out to here on both sides. Got about 5 or 6 inches on each side to widen it. And then there's going to be plenty more added to the backs, so this thing's going to be like 6 feet 4 inches from front to back. So it's going to be a big car. And these are 10-inch, my 10-inch wheels, 4-inch rims. And then I'll be doing some Integy hydraulic brake kits on these. And I'll do a socket. I'll weld a socket to this, and then the hex hubs that are capable for the rotors, they'll be mounted to the front axle, and then the caliper will squeeze that and it'll stop the wheel from spinning. And then the back axle, it'll be a solid axle with pumpkin. And I'll probably integrate my Red Cat racing parts into the differential. So I'll be using the Red Cat gearbox and the hubs and stuff like that, running them through. And then probably the Red Cat Racing dual steering servos, and the steering arms are probably custom. It's hard to say, I might use some of the parts. Maybe use some Ready Rod instead to reinforce it. And then, so I can still make them adjustable, and then have my tie rod or my steering links coming out. So it's going to be a big car, big project. I'm roughly estimating it's going to cost about $1,500 to build this thing. And I've also bought this last Thursday from local welding shop. They just charged me a flat rate, $5 for 2 feet of 3/4 inch tubing and 2 feet of 1/2 inch angle iron. And they said they can get 1/2 inch square tubing, but I'm thinking I can just cut this and then slide one on each part to complete a 1/2 inch square tubing using 2 pieces of angle iron. Just kind of give it a reinforcement. So I take a 3/4 inch slider on this side and then weld it, and then just drill little holes to push the putty into, which I got 2 sticks of welding putty. Just kind of work it together, knead it, and then smear it into the joints and let it harden, and pretty much creates a solid weld. And they just charged me flat $5 for both pieces. They didn't even write up an invoice, which was pretty cool. Then I got all that 3/4 inch angle iron in there, if I need to, but I might save that and build my 1/10 scale what do you call it, pulling sled, or pulling sled pull, trailer pull. Some weight pulling there, and other than that, and then I'll be doing the I think it was about $50 for the or $54 for the sculpting mesh. It's 2 feet wide, 5 feet long for a roll. So I'll be getting that for the body, and then I can start molding it and filling it in with fiberglass Bondo. So it's gonna be one solid car. It's not gonna be a body you can just take the pins out and take the body off. It's gonna be totally completely mounted to the body. And that's gonna be my half-scale RC generally. Please like, subscribe, comment. Join the RC MacGyver family. Have fun RCing out there.